Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy, the High Indian. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since I've made a YouTube video. A lot of y'all may know that I have been on TikTok a lot, but I've decided that it's time to come back and really hit it hard. And I think one of the first videos that I have to make is on Harmony One. It's where I got my start as a YouTube content creator in Web3, and so it hasn't been good. The chain that I got introduced to and the person that I got introduced to it by is actually Flu. A lot of y'all may know him, especially in the Harmony community. A little bit about me: I had no clue what crypto and Web3 NFTs were prior to September of 2021. To my knowledge, I thought it was a stock that you just buy, hold, and then you kind of just wait for it to go up, and then if you get lucky, you'll sell it for a profit. And so one of the things that I thought of is like, how do I get crypto without having to pay for it? And I know that mining had always existed, so I tried to go out and start basically assembling the parts that I needed to build a mining rig, and my knowledge of computers was zero. So I had no idea that a mining rig is basically just a PC with a whole bunch of GPUs, and I had never put together a PC, so I didn't know that. And so the first thing I knew that I needed was a GPU, and I realized that it was going to be one of the more expensive parts that I needed. And so I ended up camping outside of Best Buy because what I did was I was a reseller before Web3. I resold sneakers, PlayStation, sports cards, clothes, you name it. And I knew that GPUs were in high demand back then. The prices on them were, 3 to 4 times retail price. And so I got a ping, and the local Best Buy, shout out to my reseller friend, Mike. He's the one that actually put me on. We ended up camping outside of Best Buy. So I stayed out there in the Texas heat during the summer. Or no, I think it was like maybe almost fall. It was almost fall. So we camped outside of there, and we were towards the end of the line, but we were guaranteed a GPU. So we stayed there all night. Best Buy opened up the next morning, and they basically ran out of the 3060s, which is what I was aiming for because it was like the most bang for your buck. The 3060 would mine as much as a 3090 because of the limiters, but the price rate was like 3 times less. And so because we were towards the end of the line, the 3060s all got sold out, 3070s all got sold out. I don't think they had any 3080s, and I think I ended up with a 3090. A 3080 or a 3090. I can't remember at the top of my head. I'll have to ask Flu. But basically I had this GPU, and I was like, well, shit. I looked up all the other parts I needed, and it seemed like a dauntable task that I would not be able to accomplish. And so what I did is I started looking on Facebook Marketplace, and then I seen someone had a full mining rig all together. And so if I have a picture, I'll post it up here. But basically, it was Flu that had the mining rig. It was about 580s, and it had the frame, it had the motherboard, it had everything, and it was ready to go, good to go mining. And so I hit him up, and I was like, hey, got this 3090 that I'm willing to trade. Would you do it? And he said, yeah. He was at a Rangers game, in Texas Rangers baseball, and so he ended up saying if we could meet later. I did, and so we ended up meeting at a Quick Trip parking lot gas station at 2 o'clock in the morning. And so, mind you, that actually seems like a bad idea, and you probably shouldn't do it. He was a complete stranger to me at the time, but I know a lot of people would think, like, why the hell would you trade a 3090 for that setup? And a lot of people might say, like, one of us, either side might have gotten ripped off. But to me, that was probably the most valuable exchange that I've ever made on Facebook Marketplace. Because once I did that, basically the knowledge that I gained in that parking lot has put me in this position that I am right now as a content creator. And so big shout out to Flu for doing that, because when I met him, he put me on 2 things. He put me on, well, 3 things if you want to be technical about it. He put me on DeFi Kingdoms and Freyala, and both of them are on the Harmony chain. And so I got home, not the same night, but maybe like a couple days later, I set up a MetaMask for the first time. I funded it with Harmony 1 token, and then I hopped into DeFi Kingdoms, and at the time, DeFi Kingdoms, the only thing it had was the bank and the liquidity pools, and I think that's about it. So I was able to learn about staking, and I was able to learn about liquidity pools. And so from there, I just started making content. A lot of y'all know and have seen my videos, especially if you've been in the Harmony ecosystem. So it's where I got my start at. It's basically where I got myself educated on every aspect of Web3 and then branching out from it as well. So it is so sad, and I can't tell you that it breaks my heart to see the chain that I start on basically die. It is dying right now. They've lost a lot of user trust or investor trust. I've seen multiple projects already leave or plan on leaving to another ecosystem. And so I'm not going to sit here and act like I know whether it's going to recover or not, because I have no clue. According to Twitter, it seems like they're just doing the same thing that they were already doing. And a lot of people criticize what that has been for the past 2 years, I guess. I have no clue. I only joined about last year, but definitely not good times. And what gets people the most is how they got attacked. So the bridge itself, the Horizon Bridge, is how you bridge assets in and out of Harmony. You could bridge them to Ethereum, and I've used it before. So you could bridge assets in and out of Harmony from to Ethereum, Binance as well, and what basically happened is the bridge got hacked, and the reason it got hacked is because there were 4 multi-sig owners of the wallet that holds all the funds for the bridge, and 2 of them had their seed phrases on a Google Doc, and they got hacked. Those seed phrases were compromised, and the hacker was able to basically take the funds and he dumped it into Tornado Cash through separate wallets, and it doesn't look like they're going to see that money. I know they put out a reward and basically like a truce, like, hey, just give up the money, we'll give you this, give up this much amount. But from my side, it doesn't look like they've seen any success. So are they going to repeg is the question. And I hope they do. I really don't want to see a place where I think a lot of people began their crypto journey and are just so dedicated. I want to give a shout out. I mean, I can't shout out everyone at the top of my head, but there are so many people that are committed to Harmony One, whether it be validators or investors. Some of them might be on a little too much hopium and copium on Twitter, talking about, Harmony One to $5. Let's see it hit 5 cents first. And hope that it doesn't go to 0 cents, because that was honestly my entry point. Because once this bear market started and everything happened with Harmony, I was like, okay, I know when the bear market is going to bottom, and it's going to be when Harmony is at 0 cents. And so I don't know if it hit that or not. Maybe it was close to it at 1 cent, but I was going to dive in, because the thing is, if they do end up fixing, there's going to be some great degenerate plays that I can think of, and but the problem is, there's nothing of value on Harmony Protocol. We've faced countless rugs. It's just one rug after another. Projects just copying, pasting, and basically trying to build something out of nothing almost. But in most cases, it just doesn't work. It ends up dying out, ends up fizzling out. I know a lot of people are probably curious as to my opinions and everything that's going on in DeFi Kingdoms, and I will talk about that in a later video. But we do know that, most of the TVL, all the transactions that occur on Harmony are through DeFi Kingdoms. So what they end up doing, whether it's moving to another blockchain or depending on Harmony and repegging, if they'll stay, I think that'll play an important role in how Harmony gets affected in the next year or so. And so my hope is that they survive and they recover, and people start building valuable projects on it, because it is a great chain. And transaction fees at the cost of a penny, and then it completes fast. I will admit, I hopped out of the Harmony ecosystem before all this happened. Besides DeFi Kingdoms, I stayed in DeFi Kingdoms obviously, but around the end of the year, 2021, towards the beginning of 2022, maybe like December, January, February, I totally took a dive into Ethereum NFTs, because that's where I saw content creators having a lot of success in their videos. That's where all the hype was at. Profile picture NFTs, and basically anything on Ethereum was flying when I dived in. I feel like me joining the crypto market, I joined in at this prime time, and it was like, my first jump into Web3, and I hopped in, like I said, late September, early October, and anything I bought turned to gold. And it was hard to make bad plays out there. And I feel like I got used to it I definitely didn't cash out as much as I should have, and it's tough because it was a learning lesson. All things aren't good to be true. Whatever the saying is, like I shilled for Terra. I didn't shill for them, but I love Terra Luna and Anchor. I thought it was going to be something great, and y'all saw what Do Kwon did, and I know a lot of people are blaming like hedge funds and people shorting it and like all this other nonsense. But if we're being honest about it, Do Kwon was dumping over millions and millions and millions of dollars in UST. If he truly believed in UST, he wouldn't have been dumping that much. So I'm pretty sure he knew that that risk was always there. And to be honest, I see that he's created another chain. I have no interest in stepping onto it ever in my life. I will not touch it. And if any project is wise, they'd step away too. To be honest with you, Do Kwon, unless Do Kwon steps out and someone else takes over, because you can't have someone like that. He was warned. He was warned, and this is the messed up thing. People are still out there willing to support Terra Luna when the creators, the founders, basically rug them, and if they didn't rug them, they put them in a position to where shit was not gonna be feasible. That 20% APY was not going to hold up, and it was just a matter of time. And they failed to explain that to me and all us other investors. So people, Terra 2, Terra, and then the old rug Terra went to Terra Classic, and people still gave Do Kwon a chance and are still willing to give Do Kwon a chance. And that's the thing about Harmony. They didn't necessarily do anything bad, and in terms of harming their investors. Security issue? Yeah, definitely. Because I was in a Harmony DAO for about 2 months. I was in two of them. And the reason I left is because I realized nothing productive was getting done. And so, yeah, that's why I left those two Harmony DAOs. But when I was in the DAO, whenever these DAOs would get funded, I believe it was 7 or 6 signatures that had to be, or that were, sorry, let me digress a little bit. 6 to 7 wallets that had to be attached to the account that was holding all the funds for that DAO. And so you had to have like a minimum of 3 or 4 signatures just to get anything passed. And these were accounts that were funded with a lot less amounts. Like you're talking about 75,000, maybe even 20,000, 10,000, and maybe even a little more, maybe like upwards of to 250, 750,000, whatever they handed out to DAOs. I know that's the thing that upset a lot of people too. Money getting funded towards DAOs that were contributing nothing at all. And so it's upsetting, but hey, they gave the opportunity out to people to do something and build. Whether they did or not, I have no idea. I know people are upset at a lot of things that Harmony did, but I also want to say that, they gave it a try. They tried to fly people out of areas that most people wouldn't be able to fly out of, go to crypto conferences, and basically they gave everybody a chance. All you had to have to do was probably have a phone or a laptop and an internet connection. So when you talk about mass adoption, Harmony allowed it, but at the same time, to only require 2 signatures to, have access to how much in funds? How much was it? Over $100 million on that bridge. So yeah, and just wallet security. You can't have your seed phrase on your computer. I don't have $100 million in assets. I have maybe not even 6 figures in assets of NFTs, and I hold those dear to my life. I wrote my seed phrase down on 2 pieces of paper, one's in a safe and one's in the bank, and I hold on to those to dear life. I've never taken a picture of it or anything like that, so it's definitely upsetting to see that proper wallet security was not handled. And yeah, it's upsetting, but at the end of the day, I do admit that I've branched out into other NFTs, and that's kind of why I stopped making YouTube videos, because I've been exploring and I've just been kind of doing my own thing. But and I do apologize to the people that have watched my videos and really looked up to me. And if I onboarded you into Harmony and if I onboarded you into DeFi Kingdoms, just know I was passionate about both, and because it taught me and I was making money. And I believe it's just something, and I still do believe that Web3 and NFTs and blockchain technology is something that everyone needs to learn about, but it needs to be done properly. And yeah, it's just upsetting. I hate to see Harmony in the condition that it's in, but I like there's still a lot of people that are hopeful, so I'm not gonna count it out. But for me personally, I've branched out. So if I do end up doing stuff on Harmony, I'll definitely talk about it. Y'all will know. But other than that, I'm in Ethereum a lot. And I hate to say it myself because at the beginning when I joined Harmony, it was like I was I was anti Ethereum. I hated Ethereum maxis, and I was just like, yo, there's another blockchain called Harmony Protocol, and the transaction fees are a fraction of a penny, and they're quick, and you don't have to wait for all this bullshit, and it's not expensive. So, like, yeah, come over here. When in reality, I probably should have been telling people, hey, come on over to Ethereum. There's rug pulls, and the transaction fees are a lot, but hey, there are opportunities, and you don't have to have like hundreds of dollars either. Right now, the theme is free mints. If we're being honest, like people are going full degen on free mint NFTs in Ethereum, and if you get lucky, it takes off, and hopefully you sell at the top, because yeah, the free mints besides Goblin Town, which basically set the trend for free mint NFTs. I don't see a lot of those projects lasting, and so that gets me onto my next point and what I'm gonna talk about my entire NFT journey because I made a lot of great plays, I made a lot of terrible plays, and I want to talk about it for anyone that's getting into NFTs or might be getting started in NFTs, or if you've just been in NFTs. I'm pretty sure you'd love to hear my journey. I've made some great plays, but like I said, I got greedy during this whole bull market run, and I didn't count my chickens, and I was like, okay, so we're in a bear market now, and that shit hurts. But from the general consensus that I collected from everybody, a bear market is designed, or not designed, but like it's meant to break people and bring them down to their knees and have them screaming that crypto and NFTs and all that is going to be a scam and shit's gonna get really bad. But the idea is that it will recover, and the people who are sticking to their plan and staying invested or continuing to invest during times of turmoil in the market are going to be the ones that succeed in the future or when the bull market comes back.